set on up. That's all good. And take a moment to check my other computer. Looks like the other big computer is good to go, so let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Advanced Wars by Web or Disruin Tiny Wars replay. Oh wait, I forgot to turn on the whatchamacallit, live chat windows, cause see your comment, howdy. I forgot to turn this on. With this on, I'm able to view everything condensed on the left side rather than cranking my head to the right. And there we go. Now everything should be good to go. So let's actually get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Advanced Wars Disruin Tiny Wars replay. Small on the south side as the blue Whalen, not Whalen. Yes, Whalen. But I think not Whalen. We got too much dog, which is an incredibly inaccurate statement. Small on the north side as the red Brenner. We got Luar Soleil. Oh, I butchered that name well enough. When it comes to these COs, of course, Brenner, of course, has been nerfed from the cartridge counterpart. Has standard boarding cost, 3 radius, 60 maximum energy, no initial expansion at 30 energy. Of course, max energy is 60. Direct units get additional plus 10, plus 30. And of course, for his superpower, get plus 3 health restoration globally. Williams, of course, has been buffed from the cartridge counterpart. Has a reduced boarding cost of 30%, 2 radius, 3660. All units get plus 10, plus 10. All air units get additional plus 20% offense, plus 40% defense. And of course, for his superpower, provides plus 300% defense for air units. So let's go and get started. This is a 3-base map, 1 airport, 1 seaport. You both players do start out with some temporary airports in the center map. Very nice. And there's also an extra property here, so early bikes are immediately available, which will perhaps get the game going pretty quickly, though there is a forest here in the way. Infantry bikes, a bike each direction. And I've suddenly realized I've got to open our drink. You may hear something. Something I did forget to mention at the start of my stream. I might have somebody knock my door. Long story short, I purchased some new equipment and ordered it. And should be arriving today. Basically, new microphone, mouse, and headset. Because my headset is falling apart. Like, the EMF parts of my headset is detached. So I've just been plopping it around my ear, then squeezing it down for what's left of my headphones. Microphone, I think it's about time I get an upgraded microphone. A 32-bit condenser microphone. And of course a new mouse, because my mouse is still not great. It's falling apart. It's double clicking all the time. Either way, triple bike that turn. Glenn does 10,000 monies in the bank, so he can go for a tank this turn. Goes for bike, double infantry, so he's going to have 17,000 monies next turn. Actually, I'm not sure what he's going to go for 17,000. Medium tank early like this is just not common. Infantry, tank, and bike. I understand a battle copter, maybe. I doubt he's going to go for a duster. Does get a hit there. Battlecopter, double infantry, and bike, keeping 2,500 to bank. CO's tank. Brenner will need to go anti-tier. Of course, the battle can go in any direction, so he may need to go for 2 anti-tiers. Granted, his opponent only has infantry, so going double anti-tier wouldn't be half bad. Then again, it's a little bit too early for double anti-tier, isn't it? Plus a sealed tank. Does get some damage there. Gets a nice early 8 energies. Tank does get a good shot there. Burner's at 11 energy versus 8 energy. Tank will need to start moving to engage the anti-tier. The battlecopter could fall back, maybe even back to the airport. Just fall back, stay out of range of the anti-tier and start pursuing this tank. Double anti-tier there, so he has a good number of anti-tiers now on the field. Tank pursuing tank. Maybe, well, I suppose he just is lacking tanks, so let's go for a pair of tanks. He actually has 7,000 funds, so a third tank. Triple tanks, no tanks. When Brenner sees all these tanks, then he definitely needs to go for his own round of tanks. Maybe he can go for his own battlecopter. Right now he does have 21,000, so he can actually afford a bomber and an infantry unit. Triple tanks. Does take a shot there in range of this anti-tier, however gets a great shot there. And of course, there's extra defense, not much this anti-tier can do to it. This battlecopter currently right now has a nice even 70 energy, or defense, not energy. Tank, battlecopter, double infantry. And of course we do have a tank here, so the anti-tiers have to perhaps traverse this way, going down through the infantry. Yeah, just be careful around these tanks now. Quite a bit of shots there on that tank. Burns at 34 energy, Williams at 28. Those fully surround that tank. Does pick off infantry there. Battlecopter, tank, double bike. Does take out a tank there. Deletes his tank there. Trying to avoid any power charge donation. It looks like this anti-tier is out of range of the battlecopter as well. He found the opportunity to engage. And of course, this battlecopter has taken 1 point of damage so far. The soon-to-be 3 health anti-tier may just take a shot against the battlecopter, but with that, all the extra defense, probably wouldn't even be lucky if it does 10%. Ah, my math is way off. Wait. Did it seriously take no damage return? Oh, my apologies. I had to take a look at that. 30 health? Okay, it did take 9% damage, but still, I'm actually sort of surprised it didn't at least do 1% damage. Or 1 health damage, 10%. I just got sort of thrown off right there. Brenner does have a superpower available. The number of units is quite damaged, so a superpower wouldn't be half bad right now. Williams' battlecopter is a little bit too far away from his forces to support him, and this anti-tier nearby will cause some issues. It can reach out over here, so finish off this anti-tier with his battlecopter is not a good idea. And it could be not only be at 5 health, but add 5 plus 3 from the superpower, so it could be up to 8 health to this 8 health battlecopter next turn. So you may just need to run with this battlecopter, but I don't think you can really escape this anti-tier. Oh. Goes straight for the battlecopter of his battlecopter. Okay, I was not expecting that. Sacks the units there, trying to soften as much as he can. Gets a CO zone in range, and finish off Brenner's tank there. Of course, this 4 health anti-air and the 4 health battlecopter, the Wayland's battlecopter is going to go down. It would have got an excellent amount of health recovery globally, so it's probably a good idea he does sack his battlecopter for that. He's at 56 energy, but he will not be getting CEO power next turn. Infantry, battlecopter, infantry, and tank. Destroys a battlecopter with a CO anti-air. Did not see that coming. Just good number of hits there. Pushing for that tank up here is probably a bad idea since there's already a tank nearby. Nope. I have not heard about a Company Heroes Definitive Edition. And honestly, I don't really care. Company Heroes, it's pretty, I think Relic is a dead publisher or developer. They have failed way too many times. They're probably on life support right now. I have no faith in them right now. We do have a good shot up here. Tank does hit tank, so still just a bit of a brawl there that Brenner will lose out. Though we got the tank and anti-air's gonna rotate around and start hit this flank. Brenner has quite a good force, 106. Of course, Williams does his day-to-day income, so he actually has a slight advantage right now, but feels like Brenner's in a better position. Twice are eyeing the catch up these central properties. Income right now is 24, so 25,000. The properties, they're actually still a handful of despicable neutral properties. This one in the corner here, and these two down here. Tank, tank, battlecopter, and tank. If you push forward with a CO battlecopter, you have 3 battlecopters getting that massive defense bonus. Though there is still a very healthy number of anti-airs in center, and Brenner has a good number of his own battlecopters. Maybe Wayland needs to go for a Duster right now. Company Heroes 3. Age of Empires 4 wasn't half bad, but Company Heroes 3 as well as Dawn of War 3. Relic's large amount of on the losing streak when it comes to a lot of games. Does get a good shot there. Getting some good damage done. Runs up to 22 energy. Brenner's at 20. Does finish off that tank there. Full health infantry can start making its way to this city, but of course they have to cross some mountains. And Wayland does have a healthy tank in this region. Brenner does not, and he does have some increased interrupted captures, but that's about it. Tank does hit tank. Brenner, I wonder if he's going to try to get a CO power deployed out this turn. Don't think he can, but there's a large number of targets in front of him, to say the least. He moves his CO tank there. Gets a good amount of damage across the line. Does not take out Wayland's battlecopter. Brenner has the super power available. Joins onto the anti-air there, so he has a full health anti-air. Tank anti-air battlecopter. Good shot there. Wayland has 36 energy. He may be able to deploy out his superpower this turn for Wayland. Though he's taking a lot of engagements outside of CO zone. And I don't think he has enough steam to hit Brenner's CO unit. So at this point in time, he's probably focused on the wounded units, joins there. Because he does not able to finish off the 6 health battlecopter, nor the 2 health anti-air. So it looks like he will be popping superpower this turn. He could damage some of his units before the fight. Is he not going for superpower this turn? He is not. It's the anti-air. Burner has a very healthy number of battlecopters to say the least. Right now it's 84,000 versus 96, so Burner has a clear advantage, about half a turn. Tank battlecopter, double bike. Battlecopter does hit a tank, finish off the tank there, up to 56 energy. Finish off some of these wounded units there, which is quite important. Tank, Duster, tank. Howdy. Howdy, apparently you cause. I'm not sure what you're saying there. Casted or played CNC Engineers, you didn't tell me? There's a playlist. Superpower activated there. I am curious how much funny he got. Let's see, went from 100,000 for 104 to 114, so I got a nice 14,000 health recovery. Getting some good shots there. Hits Wayland CO battlecopter. Does not finish off. Has access to a superpower. Though he doesn't really have too many battlecopters and air units to really utilize it. But might as well go for it. At least keep this Duster alive. Insert of 120,000. Wayland Sword starts at 91. Get some good shots there. Hits the anti-air. Huh. Didn't realize it's that much. Yeah, I tried to cast in some generals. I had fun with it, but the problem is they're just casting too many games, just a bit too taxing on me. I may try again for more offline stuff, but it's one of those things like spread out. A lot of games I want to cast, that sort of thing. Some good damage there. That's not too bad. That's about the same size as Company Heroes 1. If not greater, if you look at Steam charts for Company Heroes 1 at least. Does get some good shots there. Wayland still has a superpower. Wayland has 27,000 income, so he does have an income advantage, so you could perhaps supply some really expensive aircraft to go along with superpower, like a bomber. Duster now parks itself above a reef. Maybe gonna need to merge these two battlecopters, but even then, at least give him some longevity. Get some good damage there. Finish off one health tank at least. Burn is at 20 energy at the moment. Yeah, I remember watching quite a bit of General's Gentlemen when it comes to a lot of Command & Conquer stuff, particularly for let's see, General's Gentlemen for Command & Conquer Generals, Green Zero for King's Wrath, and Cybert for Red Alert 3. Does get some good damage up north. Battlecopter Infantry, double anti-air. Does pick off some of these outlying units. Duster, of course, hating infantry units rather than battlecopters. I think since Wayland has a superpower available, I think he should start spamming out battlecopters. So his superpower gets a bit more of value out of it. Hits the anti-air rather than the battlecopter, probably because he's worried about the potential superpower by Brenner. Does interrupt his capture though. Still 27,000 versus 24,000. This property in the bottom left is still despicably neutral. Dominator is one of the biggest ones. He still does live streams and free-for-alls, 1v1s, and also cast games. Not familiar with him. Oh, another name I used to watch for a bit. Not the greatest channel, Scrin Rusher. We do now have the superpower activated. Getting some health recovery, not as much as last time. Tank, tank, tank. True. Yeah, he's had a health no battlecopters raffling about, but not so much anymore. Hence why I say he should start just pumping out battlecopters since his superpowers already. Of course, Brenner had a very healthy number of anti-airs, and he still has 3 anti-airs in the field. Battlecopter, tank, anti-air, and bike. Finish off those 2 of those 4 health tanks, very nice. And 3 health battlecopter, 1 health tank's not much. Only a full health tank here on top of the HQ. Anti-air, tank, a battlecopter, and infantry. Does bring the CO unit over here. Does not pop the superpower. Dusted the bike. Does finish off that tank there. 3 health battlecopter, very nice. And puts the 1 health tank on top of the city, which is probably meant to protect the infantry unit. But the anti-air will rip apart that infantry unit, no problem. Though it looks like he's still in range of the infantry. Can't park there. It's the infantry unit over there. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, and anti-air. Infantry units heading out to that neutral city. Two tanks, 1 anti-air, and 2 battlecopters. Only 1 anti-air to stop the battlecopters. There are 2 tanks, engage the 2 tanks. If Wayland's able to double tap this tank, then a tank can hit the anti-air on the battlecopters, do get a lot more work done, which may be quite possible. The tank's out of range, but the battlecopter can push forward, take out that tank, and then this tank can hit the anti-air. No, he goes down to this tank down there. I disagree with that. Doesn't save the city. It's like he was SpongeBob and Patrick. Maybe 2 more battlecopters wingman would be sufficient. Perhaps because of course he can't really count his own battlecopter, so he has 1 full health battlecopter, a 3 health battlecopter, and of course a duster, artillery, tank, and double infantry. Duster may just want to fall back to a temporary airport. And locks down the airport with the command anti-air. And gets a shot there in that battlecopter as well. Yeah, I think I was a bit more justified having the 2 battlecopters hit the tank, finish off the tank, and then have the tank hit the anti-air. Because now he took a direct hit. Probably should then send the 3 health battlecopter into the 3 health battlecopter. Or maybe we should send the 3 health battlecopter into the 3 health battlecopter. 1 to 3. Yeah, I think Brenner's starting to overrun Wayland right now. Pulls back some units there. Duster's down to 25 fuel. Does not take shot against that anti-air. Burns that 29 energy. Cancels a lot of targets in front of him, so you can potentially get a superpower this turn. He might be able to deploy it as well, hard to say. Medium tank, and infantry. Emergency medium tanks. Capture another city. Burns doing a good job of flipping the cities. Because we know flitties are very good at flips, I think. Does use the anti-air takeout infantry unit there, giving some good amount of power charge at least. He does have access to a superpower now. Bike, tank, and battlecopter, and Willen does resign. As Angrade saying, "Thank you for watching," and on to next replay. On to the replay that was submitted to me. Just had to get a bit of a warm up going. Let's see. It's this one right here. I don't remember who actually submitted it to me. Hello. Journals got too big because EA released the source code, so the community remade the original online experience with quick match. It made it easier to actual play online as well. And yeah, and Generals 2, it looked like when it comes to Generals 2, I know it sort of felt like it looked like a bit too StarCraft-like, honestly. With like the high ground stuff, like not everything has to be, everybody has sort of a high ground with a choke point to the base. I mean, King Draft is pretty good and doesn't have any of that. Either way, let's get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars Days Ruin Tiny Wars replay. So on the left side is the purple cast, we got Bench Warmer. So on the right side is the blue Greyfield guy, we got Greyfield. When it comes to these COs, the Greyfield of course has been buffed, and the cartridge counterpart has reduced boarding costs. 3 radius, 30, 60, 60. All units get plus 10. Blah, 10. I'm just butchering my words today, aren't I? He also got sort of a bit of rework there. Rigs, battlecopters, T-copters, seaplanes, gunboats, landers, cruisers, carriers, so transports and battlecopters. Get plus 10, plus 40. Buildings and carriers in the CO zone provide additional plus 2 repair amount, which does cost funds, so it's not free, but very nice to have. Rigs and T-copters cost 4,000 per, so they get a 1,000 funding reduction. And seaplanes do have a slight increase of 1,500 and can be produced from regular airports. And for a superpower, let's see. Plus 10, recover the fuel and ammo, yep. Those same units get plus 25% offense. I don't know why it's sort of staggered like that. Maybe there's a space there that needs to be deleted as a typo. And yep, that's a big difference there. Get a little bit extra offense in the super as well as the recovery. So definitely the superpower got greatly nerfed from the previous Greyfield variant. But of course he still should be quite good, and plus seaplanes. Cast is of course a custom CO using the IDS soldier profile picture. We have a standard boarding cost, 3 radius, 3660. All units get plus 10. When your units get leveled up veterancy, they get additional level in the CO zone. Oh, this part is new. All units in the CO zone that promote to levels 1, 2, and veterancy get additional offense. So if they have any degree of veterancy, they get plus 10% offense. All CO units in the CO zone that promotes to those same levels get additional 5, 10, 20. Oh, no, here we go. 0 provides, 1 provides 0, 2 provides 0, and fully veteran gets additional plus 10% offense. And in the C4 defense, it does apply plus 5% additional defense and plus 10 for 2 and fully veteran. So keep that in mind. So we've got some extra assets there, but mostly on the defense side with some offense. All units get plus 10, plus 10. All units get additional level of efficiency. All units immediately get 1 level of efficiency. And this effect is still the same, which also means they have more immediate access to this part, among other things. So it looks like Cass got a decent sized buff there. Always seemed like she was a decent CO beforehand, but I didn't see her too often. Maybe people just free. Either way, let's go ahead and get started. Huh, is this map usually a Fog of War map? This is not a Fog of War game. Generals 2, honestly I had no idea it was in a closed alpha or closed beta, so I never touched it. I only saw some stuff. But I just didn't like a lot of the unit design. It looked too StarCraft 2-like. I sort of wish a lot of RTS didn't become StarCraft 2-like, because I think it's a little bit of a trap. Also, I think the RTS style that does, I think it's generally the best, as a very, very loose term, would probably be the Company Heroes style. But then again, that's drastically different. There's the StarCraft 2 style, which has a lot of spell abilities. Then you get the Command and Conquer style, which is just more of formation. How to compare split the StarCraft 2 and Command and Conquer style. More based on the, rather than trying to spam abilities, more of just trying to scout and deploy a proper army and with some repairs. I don't know how to properly put it. I think the economy is also a big part difference between those two as well, because Tiberium fields are quite interesting as well as ore fields. Of course, Red 3 screwed that up. Man, the last good Command & Conquer, or best Command & Conquer, I would say. Red 3 is good, but I would say Kane's Wrath was better. Either way, do you have a rig on the field, ready to rig the game? Of course, Cass has 10,000 funds, so she can deploy a tank and double infantry. I wonder if the CO tank, does the CO tank count as V veterancy, max veterancy? Guess we'll find out soon enough. In total, then she should get additional plus 10 if it counts as max veterancy. I just don't know if CO veterancy and max veterancy are counted the same in background. Generals 2 is, or Generals 1 is, of course, very good. Particularly 0 hour. Got another tank deployed in the field. Put this tank on top of the HQ so it is able to CO it there next turn. And double bike as well. Generals 1 does have some issues, like the protocols. I say the, not protocols, the general stars, I suppose that's what it's called in generals. General abilities need a little bit tweaking, but overall the baseline stuff I say is generally pretty good, though it feels like tanks are just not really usable. I think the only general that can have deploy good tanks in generals is probably the nuke commander, since he gets free nuclear speed, nuclear powered tanks, and not to mention just depleting uranium to go along with it shells. Does seal the tank there, and let's find out. Let's see, of course the column tower, so 40 plus 50 plus 10 from the plane source, so it's plus 40 plus 40. And yeah, I think the max veterancy is applying to it. You can see here plus 35% versus plus 40%, so the max veterancy is applying. We do have another rig down here, mech, tank, and infantry. Battlecopter, bike, tank, and infantry. Drops off a mech, very nice. I can do casting, but I'm not very good at playing general or Command & Conquer games online. I just had fun growing up playing against the AI. But I occasionally may try to do some live streams for some generals, or some casting. Does get a good shot there. Does get to the bike. Bike goes down. Into your tank and tank. Battlecopter ruffling its way forward. It'll hurt my pride. Though lately I've been playing a bit of War No, I just recently purchased it. And it feels the game get a little bit too repetitive when it comes to single player. Maybe we could try to do some War No casting. I saw some Star Wars mods for it, I was really surprised. It does got some of those infantry units. 50 energy. Got a nice line of tanks here. 4th tank in reserve. Casts at 53 energy. Remember, if you're going to pop for superpower, deploy your stuff first so they can get the efficiency. Greyfield has 30,000 funds in the bank. He could go for a seaplane. The honestly, battlecopters right now are just probably generally a bit better. Wait, I just thought of something. Greyfield. Does it support seaplanes? Yes. I said transports and battlecopters, but I missed the seaplane part, and so that part was out of my memory. Greyfield cannot deploy a superpower, but don't think it's super useful right now. Medium tank, double tank by Greyfield. Cass can easily deploy out her superpower this turn. Pulls back those tanks. And actually, we got a full withdrawal here, but she does get her 5 energy there, so she'll pull out superpower next turn. Tank, artillery. Greyfield has a nice core of tanks here. No superpower this turn. His superpower, of course, not going to be super great with his current composition. He just simply provided pretty much +10/+10 global bar, and this battlecopter getting some extra defense. Speaking about battlecopter, this battlecopter can hit this battlecopter. Does not deploy. Cass does not deploy her superpower this turn. Does deploy anti-tank. Wait, does that mean she's going to go for superpower this turn? Actually, she can always give it some extra efficiency next turn. There is an anti-tank over here as well. Infantry, and anti-tank, and battlecopter. Right now, the income's 23,000 versus 22,000. Oh, superpowered. Of course, these battlecopters will get additional defense, plus 50 defense. Artillery mech. And tank. Battlecopter, mech, tank, and infantry. Does capture one of the central properties, anti-air tank. Artillery, battlecopter, tank, and anti-air. Anti-tank pushes way forward. Brings back some artillery. Another battlecopter, mech. Infantry, tank, mech, and battlecopter, keeping 2,500 in the bank. Greyfield currently has 0 energy. Greyfield could push forward with this flank now, since this side has basically no flank. Oh, is he currently number 1 right now? Did not know that. Mech, tank. Looks like Greyfield's on a full back, trying to front shift over here. Of course, got a nice little indirect, quite a bit of indirects over here that if he would have pushed forward, he would have been shelled. They are despicably neutral, waving the French flag. I think, yeah, I sort of, ever since the server got reset, the player ratings definitely dropped quite a bit. Because I think beforehand it was like in the 2000s. I think he's right now, let's see, yeah, 1600, looks like 1600 is first. It just seems, I just used to before the server reset where number 1 was in 2000s. Both sides still start massing up some forces. Cass, of course, has her superpower, but since there's no big conflict, her saving for superpower is perfectly fine because it means bigger army in the field to get the max veterancy going, or at least A level veterancy. Maybe Cass at this rate and one go for more anti-tanks. Maybe Cass should go for a war tank over here. There are 2 anti-airs, so something heavy like a bomber could be useful. Oh, rocket. We got the rockets. Artillery and infantry. Got another rocket, this time for Greyfield. Another front shift down south. At this rate, Greyfield may just need those rigs just to resupply all the fuel for all the units we're moving around. Let's see, what's the fuel on these guys? 40 fuel. This one's at full, so 70 fuel is the max. Never have to really pay attention to that, what the maximum fuel is. Because most of the time, a unit doesn't run out of fuel. Unless there's a specific unit that has as a mechanic. Looks like Greyfield wants to end the game in a draw. But draws are boring. Because I'm not an artist, I don't like drawing. And I can't really do that as well. Anti-tank trying to push his way forward. We'll have a nice infantry screen. Sort of. So it's at that angle, only a tank can hit it either way. Anti-tank push way forward. Does pick off one of those infantry units there. Good shot into that tank. Anti-air's in range, so I'm thinking Cass gonna get her deploy her superpower the next turn. The front lines sort of smash into each other. Of course, her CO zone's already here, so she may not need to pull out her superpower, because all of her fights going to be within her range of CO zone either way. Pop superpower. Something got deleted there, I think. Let's take a battle copter. Tank hits tank. Any tank vehicle that's, or any unit that scores a kill this turn will be at max out veterancy. Get a shot there on the Greyfield's command tank. Spike hit spike. Battlecopter here's low on fuel, 36 fuel. Bomber, ooh! Forgot to deploy units first and then pop the CO power. Because now the bomber missile level veterancy was thanks to a one-hit kill copter. Got it. Sometimes if I'm not focused down there, I don't realize it. So the bomber does miss on one level veterancy. Artillery running away, tank gets a good shot there, mech gets a good shot. Greyfield's at 44 energy, there's a good chance he can deploy superpower, and he has health in the battlecopters this time around, as well as a seaplane. Does showing the tank his CO tank there, so does not deploy superpower this turn. Has enough for it. Cass may have enough targets in front of her to get a superpower this next turn as well. He's good at doing that battlecopter, and on that battlecopter as well. Tank double infantry and another seaplane. Strikes the infantry unit there, hits the anti-air, hits the anti-air. Joins those battlecopters together, takes out the anti-air, takes out the anti-air, hits the anti-air, takes out the anti-air. Needs a little bit more damage, but she will need to move her CO zone to get out +1 CO zone. Does take out the mech there, hits the tank. hits the battlecopter, joins infantry, takes the battlecopter. Battlecopter hits medium tank, tank hits tank. Tank hits artillery, anti-air hits battlecopter. Cast is at 60 energy. I thought she could pull out superpower this turn, but she can pull it out next turn. But look at all the vacancies she has. Look at all the V's. Is it a V or check mark? When I was growing up, could never tell if it was a V or check mark. But I think it is a V. Does it the battlecopter? Because that angle sort of does look like a check mark, though. Does take out the tank there. His infantry. I thought V is for victory. Does the infantry in there? Does not deploy the superpower this turn. Has plenty of efficiency already though. Not many things that needs extra level of efficiency. Good shots there. But that angle does sort of like a check mark, though. Because usually V's is, of course, like that. Check marks are like that. So it's like a check mark with a low without the tail. Duster, anti-air, recon, and bike. CO's the infantry in there, so just wants his CO zone up and going quickly. And of course in range. Does push it forward with a rig. Shows the anti-air, saving the seaplane. Finish off the bike, anti-air does hit the battlecopter, hits the infantry. Hits the artillery, does finish the battlecopter with a efficiency 1 seaplane with 1 health. Trying to flip some cities down south. While the cities up north is also being flipped. Anti-air tank. Shells the mutant tank, takes out a mech with a rocket. Pop superpower. Could have done that before moving and get the bomber maxed out efficiency. And Grayfield does design there. This and grade saying, thank you for watching, and on to next replay. Let's see. Next replay on the list is this one here. Just did a cast one. Let's see, what's the next one? 47? Yeah, let's do this one. We'll do the other cast one after this game, and that'll probably be it. Just don't want to do cast back to back. Either way, let's get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars, Days of Ruin, Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on top of the right side is the Dark Grey Tasha, we got Evil Anj. Spawn on bottom left side is the Green Brenner, we got Siler SK. When it comes to the COs, of course, Brenner has been nerfed from the cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost, 3 radius, only exceeding expenditure zone with max out energy is 60, 60 maximum energy. All direct units get plus 10, plus 30%, and of course 3 health restoration. Tasha has been, of course, buffed from the cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost, 1 radius, 36 to 60. All units get additional plus 10, plus 10, air units get additional plus 40% offense, plus 20% defense, and additional 2 movement. For superpower, plus 4 movement. So, let's get started. Are you saying this one's a good game as well? Oh, we're talking the other cast one. I would do that one after this one. Just didn't want to do cast back to back. Of course, Brenner can heal up this recon area with his superpower. High priority, I think. Double infantry there. Brenner right now has 4,000 funds. So I guess maybe bike infantry or just infantry? Just double infantry, keeping 1,000 funds in the bank. Triple infantry there, keeping 3,500 in the bank with next turn 9,000 income, so it'll be up to 12,500. So you could do medium tank double base skip. That's probably not a good idea. So maybe it's going to be iron tank double infantry, maybe tank and double bike. Anti-gear. Granted, he is fighting against Tasha, so going for anti-gear to go straight for the airport's not a bad idea. You may CO that anti-gear as well. And keeping 2,500 in the bank. Tasha right now has 12,000. So maybe she should go for a tank to intercept the anti-gear. Infantry, and tank. Tank double infantry. Brian does get a tank to help support his anti-gear now. Tasha does go for a tank to intercept that anti-gear. Death should have gone for one last turn. Is that unit there? May seal tank this turn. Does. Tank. Infantry and infantry. Tasha with 18,000 funds this turn. So she could pull out a fighter. That's not a good idea though. Puts infantry in front of the path of the anti-gear, so she can deploy out some sort of aircraft this turn. Tank. And infantry. Does get a good hit there. It does get some good damage. Looks like Tasha may be able to secure this comm tower down south. Got another tank by Tasha, infantry and tank. No seal unit on the field, of course. Does strike the gunboat. Of course, the gunboat does not have a gun, so it cannot defend itself. Tank, bike, and tank. Overall feels like Burns in good position, doesn't have to deal with any aircraft at the moment. Tank, and infantry. Suppose Brennan doesn't have an airport as well, so Tasha does not need to worry about deploying out any anti-airs. Suppose Tasha can always get an aircraft by deploying an aircraft carrier. I think she can always seal the seaplane on top of the HQ. Mech, tank, and tank. Tank does hit the anti-air, softening up a little bit there, hits the other tank there. Does get a good shot at the anti-air, goes for the battlecopter, which the anti-air may get a shot off there, but I think it would get enough health recovery. Burner does have 50 energy at the moment, but we have to use the CO tank's turn in order to deploy it. Deploy the superpower out, which is not really going to be feasible. Does hit that tank there. Maybe it was bad luck, it didn't finish it off. Notice the battlecopter will not go down. Burner now has a superpower available. Tasha may seal her battlecopter there, which may be able to one-shot Burner's tank there, but I doubt it. Howdy, yep. I tend to cast Days of Ruin on Tuesdays and Advanced Wars by Web on Mondays. Tank, artillery, and anti-air. Does not seal the battlecopter there. Join some tanks together. Another battlecopter. Let's finish off that infantry there, and she might be able to secure this airport down here. Tank does hit tank. Yeah, I'm not sure how seeing this, capturing this airport will shape the game, but could allow it to get some proxy aircraft reduction. Maybe pour a bomber out here to cause an issue on these bases. Does get some damage there, nothing too crazy though. I think Burner may just need to put a missile to lock down the airport. Medium tank, and infantry. Oh, superpower. CO's the battlecopter there, gets a nice booster strike there. Takes the artillery. Anti-air will be at 8 health and is in range. I think. That's not giving the range indication. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, it's in range. Tasha's turn. She right now has 20,000 income versus 22,000, or Brenner's turn, I should say. Does hit the CO battlecopter there. Does quite a bit of damage. Tasha's battlecopter is now fully surrounded. She will be able to break through the 7 health tank. Do you have a missile? The missile knows where it's at, for knows where it's not. Mech and tank. It's a tank there, does finish off the tank. CO battlecopter falls back, gets a nice little bit of power charge there and there. Joins. Tank, and infantry. Tank does strike a tank. Anti-air does finish off the battlecopter, trying to flip that airport as well. Tasha could go for her own missile to intercept the stuff being pulled out of the airport soon. Tasha is at 25 energy, so next attack she could get +1 range for CO zone, which I can see that being quite useful. This battlecopter can strike this 8 health tank, and then the CO zone can reach where this 2 health tank is, and a follow-up tank can hit it, push off from it. Tasha's already secured that airport. Does get a good shot there. Does get +1 CO zone now. Does take out Brenner's CO tank. Another tank. Infantry and more tank. Another CO tank. Does not take out that tank there. Medium tank does get a good shot there. Does finish off that tank now. Couple more tanks in a mech. Tasha right now is at 97,000. Of course, still has a day-to-day, but she's still pretty far behind from Brenner. Infantry, artillery, and anti-air. Tank does hit tank, but outside of CO zone. Tank, and mech. Good shot there in that tank. Tasha's at 57 energy right now. Of course, won't be able to generate any more power charge this turn. Tank does hit tank. Tank hits missile, getting a good shot onto it. Medium tank, infantry, and tank. Duster heads down south for the winter. Does take out the tank there. Anti-air does strike the battlecopter, nearly knocking it out of the sky. Section defense did save it. Currently right now it has 4% health. Does take out the tank there, and the other anti-air does finish off Tasha's battlecopter. Tank does hit tank. Artillery, infantry, tank. And of course the battlecopter up north. Tasha's not deployed out a missile to counter that airfield, but to lock it down. Anti-air missile and commits a base skip. Does the galley unit there. Another battlecopter, double battlecopter, infantry, infantry, and infantry, so 5 unit deployment this turn. Does take out a tank there, joins there. Burns at 42 energy at the moment. Does get some damage there. Duster flying about. Does take out that unit there. Tank hits tank. War tank does strike radar tank there and there. It's the ENT on top of the HQ. Right now, touched at 97,000 was 168, so she's pretty far behind. About 2 turns plus income advantage. Brennan does have a 6,000 income advantage. Tank, infantry, and tank. Those units heading up north. Anti-air does hit the infantry unit. Burns at 59 energy. He has a superpower available, which could be useful to cover the health on that same medium tank. Unless he's going to mage, just use it for health recovery, primarily. The missile's at 7 health, so it could be max out health as well. Right now he's at 159,000. And yeah, with an anti-air like that, anti-air on anti-air, he's probably going for superpower. Goes from 156 to 179. And that's probably game over for Tasha. With that big health boon, able to get a lot of forces on the field, or recover your forces. Right now it's 2,000 versus 85. And looks like this recon managed to get to full health as well. Still out of fuel. Tank, and infantry. Answer from 96,000 for 179. Get some good hits there. Pretty much. He's reconnoitering the area, and only that area. Duster does strike the missile, and tank finished it off. Yeah, it looks like a bit of a clean sweep. Tasha, I think what made Tasha really lose the game is the fact she did not go for tank when the anti-air was built there. She should immediately build a tank out to counter the base there, because right now did she ever even deploy a seal unit out this entire game? Yeah, she had one on a battlecopter. But I think what made her lose the game was not immediately countering a threat to her entire existence. At that point in time, she might as well have been playing no CO versus Brenner. And now the battlecopter is on top of the bridge. This game's ultimately over. HQ's course being captured. Infantry. Could pull out a gunboat. Won't be able to secure Annihilation victory, and just finish the HQ capture. This is Angry saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Before I get to our next replay, I do need to use the restroom. Please give me a moment. apologies, I am back. And yeah, I probably need to get some sort of be right back. Some sort of display. But either way, let's see, what's the replays one cast? This one here, the one with Cass and Davis. And I'm gonna open up this other drink I have nearby. Whoop, that was a bit loud, so my apologies. So, let's go and get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the south side as the Teal Cass. We got Blue Leader, who's in a form of blue, but not really. We're on the north side as the Green Davis. We got Almargo, or Almagro. How do I split up this name? Almagro? I swear, I can split this word into different syllables, and I don't know which one's correct. Either way, when it comes to the COs, Davis, of course, is technically a custom CO in Tiny Wars, since he was based on no CO clone in the cartridge. Standard boarding cost, 1 raise, 2560 energy. All units get plus 10+10. All ground units get additional plus 30% offense. And for superpower, was an anvil, now a hammer, plus 40% unit offense. Also, I want to point out that the person who had the sort of the idea for this custom CO, Honk Mother, is also a Borrow Trauma reference, if you have whoever played Borrow Trauma. And of course, Cass is of course a custom CO using the IDS Soldier Skin. 50% boarding cost, 3 raiders, 3660. All units get plus 10+10. All units get additional level of efficiency when destroy enemy unit. Additionally, if they're max up vet, they get plus 10 to offense. If they have any degree of efficiency, they get additional defense, more at 2 and max. When it comes to, I suppose it's turquoise. It's some sort of form of color. And of course, for the superpower, apply that all globally, and also 1 level of efficiency to all units immediately. So, let's go ahead and get started. This is a Fog War map, 3 bases, 1 airport. And also, there's Paracom towers, but not really contestable. If you lose combat, you probably already lost the game. Oh, just a bike there. So, base skips, bike. Double infantry there. So this bike, is he gonna drive going straight for this one here? Is he gonna go even farther forward with this, like to say this city, or maybe this city? Nope, alright, captures that city. Bike infantry commits a base skip. I'm starting to capture the column tower now. Infantry, infantry, infantry. Giving 3,000 funds in the bank, 7,000 income, so we'll have 10,000 income or funds next turn, so it could go for tank, infantry, infantry. Base right now 7,000, artillery, infantry, infantry. Next turn he'll be at 11,000. Possible to tank infantry next turn as well. Recon, mech, and bike. Do now have the recon now CO'd, which I'm that's sort of interesting. Didn't expect a CO'd recon for Cass. A rig on the deployment field as well. Wasn't expecting an early rig. CO tank here by Davis, that's pretty much standard for most COs. Bike managed to get all the way on top of the CO, does get spotted, could have been interrupted, took a shot there. Tank, mech, and artillery. You have a T-copter out by Davisville. It does get some shots there. Spots the CO recon. And got a bit of a human mecha Pete starting to form there. Medium tank over here as well. So far, quite a bit of unusual stuff. And sorry, I see my phone sort of blowing up. Let's get some good shots on infantry there. Recon, push way forward, but is in range of artillery, which is not great. Not to mention in range of a CO boosted artillery. Get some good shots there. Picks off the infantry unit. Loses that unit there or sacked it. Of course, Cass did lose her CO recon. Could recon the tank or battlecopter next turn, or the gunboat. Davis getting some early victories there. It's not easy being green. And the tank does go in range of the mech, but does strike on the mechs. However, there's also a mech in range of the tank, just needs a bit of an opening. I don't think that bike will be going down. Nothing close by to finish it off. The mech has to go in the forest, take a shot there, and then the full health mech to have to take a shot on that same bike. Recon mech, battlecopter. Neither those tank or the battlecopter got CO'd there. Got another battlecopter, tank, mech, and recon. I'm just going to CO that recon again. Let's spot the bike there. Nothing too important though. Artillery did get spotted. And interrupts her own capture there, or his own capture, to allow the mech to get a good shot on the tank. Probably a good idea. Infantry, recon, and war tank. You know, you don't really see war tanks out too often. And this seems a pretty early war tank, turn 11. We got a number of battlecopters we're often got for Cass. Anti-air infantry, tank, and T-copter. It does show the gunboat. Then the HQ does not hide naval units. Hideable units, ground units, so the gunboat will likely be sunk to the bottom of the HQ. Takes out that infantry in there. Artillery's not been spotted, so we can shell any one of those units there. Highest value target would be the 8 health bike. Though there could be, you can also shell just something else in general. Battlecopter, mech, bike, and anti-air. Cass's recon won't be able to get any additional power charge, it's just on the wrong side of the map of all the conflict. It's the infantry unit top of the city. Mech, battlecopter, infantry, and tank. It will be the sinking of the land Titanic. Does get shelled there, so the gunboat does get sunk to the bottom of the HQ. War tank sitting on top of the city, and it's a little moat. Though historically, moats were not filled with water. It was just filled because water was filling a moat with water just took time, and it just, if it had water, it had water. It just had just low point. Take out the infantry unit there. A couple battlecopters in reserve. Good number of mechs in reserve. Tank, and artillery. Enter 142,435. Looks like this property over here is still despicably neutral. Does get trapped there, trying to flip the city off. Mech. And this looks like they're generally just pulling back. War tank could probably just stay on top of that city. Does not. Oh, I did get spotted with that little move there, or yeah, it did get spotted if going past the infantry unit. It was not already spotted. Another mech for the T-copter. Does hit that mech that's trying to flip the city. Tank, mech, and battlecopter. Anti-air hits the bike. Trying to flip or capture the HQ, not necessarily flip the HQ. But there's a lot of things that can interrupt it, because there's two tiles exposed, infantry and infantry around the other tiles. But it can be good for bait with the artillery able to provide some cover. I'm really surprised that Davis has not sent an infantry unit or something over to capture the city. Can tank anti-air. Might as well get a bike or infantry just go make its way over there. Looks like Cass trying to push on the flank up to 45 energy. She will not be able to deploy her superpower this turn since she moved her unit. Gets a good shot there with the mechs. Soften up most of the mechs. Hits the bike there. Takes out the recon. Cass has her superpower. Takes out the anti-air. Does spot the war tank. Strikes the war tank. Get 2 points of damage across the woods, and Days Room provides 3 defense stars. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, and anti-air. Mech does strike the tank. Medium tank hits tank. Hits the infantry unit there. Hits the battlecopter twice. And thrice. Battlecopter stays alive, which could just generate veteran seed to be thrown to a fresh battlecopter. Anti-air, rig, mech, and duster. Both players have the CO power. Cass may outright deploy, but remember as well, build units first. I think that's what she's doing. And superpower. Tank hits tank. Mech hits tank. Battlecopter hits war tank. Hits infantry. Hits infantry. Hits recon twice. Mech goes down. Spots a 1 health mech. And the 1 health bike. 1 health bike goes down. Battlecopter's battlecopter. Hits battlecopter. T-copter advances and throws harsh language at the war tank. I think. Davis could pop a superpower for a big counterattack. Right now it's 182 versus 136, so he's pretty far behind. Tank falls back, and since he is firing without the superpower, it suggests to me he is not aiming for superpower because superpower provide him plus additional offense. So being inside the CO zone or outside the CO zone does not matter. Of course, he's a little bit fragile at the moment, so the extra defense may be more important. There's also a very good number of mechs here now looking at it. I just see 5 mechs here in total. Right now, Cass is at 40 units versus 25 is quite important, not to mention the value difference. 1 turn advantage approximately. Mech hits artillery. Another mech. Recon, tank, battlecopter, and mech. Ready, and the mechs can be loaded T-copter. Artillery push forward to get the scouting going. Of course, it has 3 vision ranges, which are actually quite significant for an artillery piece. Artillery, recon, tank. Takes out the tank there, or the battle artillery. Which is quite significant. Right now I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're moving around, but 8, 9, 10, 11, maybe 12 since stuff moving around as I was trying to count. But she has a good number of max out efficiency, that's for sure. And the temporary report did get finalized, and nothing's more temporary, or nothing's more permanent, that's something that's temporary. Artillery, infantry, battlecopter, and infantry. And so 209,000 versus 174. Davis outright is falling back. He still has a CO power available. Does delete the gunboat. The gunboat has been sunk to the bottom of the HQ. True, it is currently entirely defensive, and as I mentioned before, and she has a good number of mechs. And mechs are not exactly the most agile of units. But she does still have good healthy number of tanks. Well, Davis does have good number of medium tanks. 3 medium tanks, 1 war tank, a rocket. And Duster, since there's so many mechs in the field, Duster will still be perfectly fine as well as both hitting the battlecopters and mechs. But yeah, the unit count is quite significant. I've been told that unit count is actually maybe potentially a bit more important than unit value on the field in some aspects. Does take out or hit the recon. Medium tank, anti-air, and mech. Right now, when it comes to income, this property Still despicably neutral. I wonder if Davis forgot about it. There's infantry's in range to start capturing it next turn, and that's probably a good idea. Davis actually probably lost a significant amount of income for lack of that HQ. At least 10 turns, I would say, and right now it's turn 20, so potentially 10,000 funds he's missed out on, which is a decent chunk of change. Tank, and artillery. Instead of 256 versus 100 and 217. And if you're going to push forward trying to flip a city. Does take out the bike there. It's the recon. At this current rate, that 2-elf mech could have captured up the city. Mech, anti-air, battlecopter, and mech. Takes the recon, hits the recon, hits the recon. Does find a medium tank. Does hit the artillery piece. The war tank is hiding in a forest. And anti-air's in range of one of these battlecopters. Probably best to go for this one. And there's a CO unit survives, but barely. Is on top of regular planes, left with 4% health. I don't know if there's any way for Cass to finish off, so maybe Davis just falls back, pops it, because there's a good number of targets in front of him. At this current rate, he just may need to merge it with some other units. There's a 5-health tank he could try merging into. And he could try to get parked on top of a property to get some health restoration. Yep, but if one battlecopter's going to push forward, might as well push forward with two, because the chance of one anti-air is likely, but if you give it 2 targets, then you can still get an extra battlecopter strike if you plan to lose a battlecopter either way. Mech, tank. Captures the city, artillery falls back, pops superpower, plus 40% firepower global, which managed to one-shot a battlecopter. Let's take a tank there, hits the tank, war tank strikes a regular tank, but tank's maxed out eventually able to survive. Hits a battlecopter hits tank hits tank. Anti-air hits battlecopter hits battlecopter, Cass has 30 energy now. A pretty good turn for Davis, but remember as well, he has no defense, or extra defense, just extra offense this turn. Does manage to one-shot the rocket, hits the duster as well. When the 2 front lines smashed on in, the counterattack is always going to be quite severe. Insert now 207. Oh! Pops superpower at the end of the turn. I was not expecting that. Or mid-turn. There's still a good number of units because I forgot how many units Cass has. Just listening to all the unit moves. Mech does strike the anti-air. Anti-air goes down. Takes out the mech in one shot as well. Ends with 204,000 versus 120. Of course, front lines is still smashing in, but there's just a lot of mechs in close range. But if you go with higher value units, the mechs will get some good shots on in. artillery, anti-air, and tank. Yeah, I think you're right, the lack of unit count. Because mechs, they counter everything, but they get countered by everything. Their thing is just them just being slow. But when the mechs just get in range and able to provide counterattack capabilities, even if you do get good shots on the tanks, you just then receive a good shot from a mech. So still a lose situation when the mechs manage to get this far forward. Recon, flare, mech, and battlecopter. Davis' CO tank still alive, but barely. Does get some shots there. Of course, his 9 health mech can strike the 9 health medium tank next turn. I mentioned this full health mech that does a lot of stuff. Yeah, the mechs are in range. Tank commits base skip, mech, and battlecopter. Rig, tank, and rig. So it's going to really try to rig the game. Right now, Cass has 52 units versus 27, nearly doubled. And when it comes to unit value as well, 231 versus 165. Of course, having tanks and medium tank strike mechs and bikes is not high value targets, which means, and not to mention the mechs not in range. That's why the human mech compete is actually quite decent. It's slow, but if you strike one, there's the unit behind it. Because now a good number of these mechs are in range. As I mentioned, the good number of formation of battlecopters. There are 2 anti-airs in the region. One is in range of artillery piece. Takes out that both of those units there. Battlecopter strikes medium tank. Artillery finish off medium tank. Battlecopter is regular tank. Regular tank goes down. Battlecopter hits the artillery if you so choose, but it doesn't really have to. Yep, property. This city's still despicably neutral. Mech, medium tank, mech. And looks like Davis does resign there. This Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. As mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay tonight. I think some of my peripherals that I ordered are now here. That's why my phone was blowing up last game. Of saying, oh, it has been dropped off. Here's a weird thing as well. Well, I bought these items online from Best Buy, and they use DoorDash to deliver electronics. Which reminds me, I need to make sure that they're out there. So that's something in my back of my mind. Either way, this is Angrade saying thank you for watching, have a good evening, and get some good rest. Enjoy.